prediction on the Gennady Golovkin versus Saul Canelo Alvarez. I was born ready prediction.
Hey, you mean the Canelo Alvarez versus Trilogy?
Oh, let's put the A side first.
Exactly. We gotta respect.
Who does this? He's like, I'm the A side for a reason. I fought Oscar De La Hoya, and when I fought, I was the B side. So when I beat him, I became the A side. Okay, so
all right, Floyd. All right.
Let's do it. All right, listen. So based on, obviously we gave like a pre-prediction, I think a month ago or 2 months ago, sometime like that. So based on what you see now, the media workout, obviously the bunch of workouts you have online, how do you see it playing out? Do you still have the same ideal of
you break down your prediction.
Okay. Okay. So pretty much, I've been seesawing back and forth with this prediction because obviously I just want to make sure for time, you know, because I want to make sure I'm on a time limit on my soapbox. I'm going to do this like Jeopardy. You have a minute to answer, and then 8 minutes. That should be fun. So pretty much, the way there was like, God dang, you just have that much time. All right. The way I see this playing out is that for some days I was like, okay, Triple G's going to win. Other days I'll be like, Canelo's going to win.
This is a tough fight to pick.
Yeah, it is, because some days I wake up, I feel one way, one day or the other. So as of right now, as of today, I feel that Canelo Alvarez has enough to win, but it's going to be easy, because I feel that based on both fighters, the fighter that makes less mistakes is going to win. Now, advantages of both. Obviously, Canelo is a younger fighter. Canelo has better hand speed. Canelo has... I feel he's the better boxer, not based on he's fought the harder opponents, he's fought the better qualities from. He fought more boxers in his career, if you look at it. As far as Triple G, no questions asked. This guy has a great chin, tremendous power, tremendous footwork. He's able to cut off the ring at angles. And obviously Triple G has a pressure-like style to where he intimidates you, kind of like Tyson, to where you second guess yourself and you feel the need to, oh my God, you got to throw your punches, and then you make mistakes off of your timing. The one thing I see that leads me to believe that Canelo can win this fight, obviously he's the younger fighter, but the other thing too is that I feel that Canelo has, based on all the videos I've seen of him sparring, working out, excuse me, he's focused a lot. The two things I've seen focus a lot are range and defense, and a lot of defense. Like on fights before, I've seen him fight, but like if you look at him when he fought Angulo, he used to do a little bit of defense, turn his body, work the waist. But like now, like I've seen, it's like a lot of defense, and it's not like he's even trying to run. It seems like to me he's just trying to work from the pocket. It sounds like to me he knows Triple G's gonna come at range, because if you look at his trainer, he's trying to throw a bunch of simulate punches at range, and he's trying to block them all. So,
all right, Dwyer, we get you.
But Dwyer, hold on, that's my impression of Dwyer. It's like he can't find you. He's at a pace that you can't see. Now, folks, let me just tell you, the opinion you should follow shouldn't be your own. Just let this be a second opinion for a complete stranger online. All right. What's your take? No. So yeah, based on that, I see he has the ability to make less mistakes. With Triple G, I feel that, and I'm putting too much on him because I feel he's such a good fighter that the performance he gave against Kell Brook and the performance he gave against Daniel Jacobs, even though he won, it's such a lesser light that I'm starting to look at it as like, oh man, he's not getting hundreds like he usually does. He's not killing. Like that's Triple G is at such a level to where if he doesn't get a knockout, people feel like, oh my God, he's losing a step, he's slipping. But the thing is, Triple G has only shown us that he can knock people out, and that's what he likes to do. And one fight I saw with Triple G, which I saw that he didn't like the distance, when he fought Martin Murray. I think that went to the 11th, right? Yeah. I could tell in that fight he got like, he was rushed. He was trying to rush to once it got to like the 10th round, he was trying to rush to get the knockout, which he found. But I think he doesn't like fights when they go the distance, But based on what I've seen, that's how I see it. I see Canelo winning the fight, but he has to be very, very I'm sure he can't make any mistakes defensively. He has to be tight, and he has to make sure to play it safe, break him down, try to break Triple G down, and maybe get the stoppage. I don't see this fight going 12 rounds. So my official prediction is I see, and this is a fucked up thing because Golden Boy works kind of like Mayweather does. I can see them stopping the fight like a TKO, but I don't see Triple G hitting the canvas at all. Like I can't even picture that. Even in the nightmare, I couldn't picture Triple G hitting the canvas. So I can see him trying to do some Angulo type shit, to where he's just Canelo's doing a bunch of punches and then he's like stop the fight type shit. But even that seems like a fantasy. But
I'm like, what the heck?
Anyway, I haven't been drinking at all today. But go ahead, go give your side. So the way I see it happening, I see Canelo winning by possibly middle of the fight stoppage, maybe round 7, 8 TKO. That's how I see it.
What the fuck this guy's for smoking? I mean, I could get Canelo by decision, but alright, whatever. Let's go to my prediction, and same as you. This is a kind of fight that if you study too hard, you could go either way. You could Canelo, the younger guy, you know, the more defensive guy, the counter puncher, the faster hands. Triple G, the more powerful guy, the harder hitter, the guy with the timing, the monster, the bully. But again, the guy who's we all believe is slipping. He's not the same. A year from today, a year ago, we would have easily picked Triple G to win. The thing is, Abel Sanchez said something really important after the Daniel Jacobs fight. The level of opponents have gotten better. So it's true. Like if you pick Daniel Jacobs of all probably last 10 opponents of Triple G, you will pick Danny Jacobs to beat him. He is the better fighter altogether. Like
so, ranked number 2 middleweight. Triple G.
Not a lot of people picked him against Quinton. I was one of the fewer that picked to be.
I picked Jacobs in that one too.
You did too. So I was one of the fewer because I understand that the kid got talent. So what are like I mentioned, Canelo got speed, but does Jacobs have more? Who have better speed, Jacobs or Canelo? I'll give it to Jacobs. Defense is up for grabs. I mean, yeah, Canelo have shown better.
I think
defense.
Jacobs used different. He used defense with his legs, not really his body movement. Because he's a tall guy.
Exactly.
And
this is the thing. We are grading his defense against guys like Angulo, guys says who's super slow. His this other guy Kirkland, who's super. This guy Leon Smith, guys who are C-level or less fighters. So of course he's going to look great. So it's hard to gauge this. A lot of people are jumping in the fact that Triple G came at 172 for the 30-day weigh-in, but maybe he's trying to come in bigger the night of the fight. Remember, now the the IBF is now mandatory in the next day weigh-in, so Triple G doesn't have to dehydrate weight or hold on his weight, so he can come as big as Canelo or be able to be as fresher on a fight.
Kind of like what Danny Jacobs did.
Exactly, they trying to not let that happen again. We all know that Canelo likes to blow up in weight on fight night. You know, he stopped weighing himself on fight night a long time ago. Against Cotto, he looked huge. Against Lara, he looked huge. And it was a close fight. And even against my boy Trout, who all those fights that I just mentioned, he won, but those fights were close, real close. So
the Lara fight, I had Canelo winning, but that could have gone either way. Like even that Levi Martinez fight, that 17-11.
Yeah, I had Lara winning that fight, and that's the thing. This is the thing about Canelo. Canelo is the kind of guy who's a counter puncher. He got this thing that he loves to lean on the rope. If he does that against Triple G, he's gonna get hurt. And I'm not even gonna bring the Jose Cotto event. Why? Because that was like 10 years ago.
He was like 18, 19 years old.
Yeah,
he was a kid still.
Yeah, he was moving up to at 154, I believe, or something like that. It was years ago. But if go back to the Kirkland fight, round 2, Kirkland catch him flush with a punch. Kirkland is not even an elite fighter anymore. I mean, have you ever been? And he catch him and he stunned Canelo. Like, he stunned. Like, you saw it in his face and his body reaction, and then boom, the bell rang. I was like, if this guy catch him again with a punch like that, it's gonna be a different story. And then if you change the guy, if you take Kirkland now and put in Triple G, I think Canelo's gonna get hurt in this fight. I think that it's gonna get to a point where Triple G end up hurting Canelo, and that's what's gonna give him the fight. I don't see him probably knocking him out, and I mean, maybe, but it's hard to tell because we haven't seen Canelo against a puncher like that. And that's the thing, when you are a fighter and you're being protected and all your entire career,
yeah,
his biggest punches is Mosley, he
was old already.
Yeah, he was old, past prime, and they brought him up from 147. Remember, his last fight, Mosley's last fight was at 147. So they moved him up from 147 to 154. That was his biggest puncher. No, you know, you could put Kirkland and you could put Angulo, but those guys were flush already. So it's hard to give Canelo the credit that he deserves.
He's fought. I think he has a resume kind of like, you know, I hate to throw my man under the bus, but he has a resume kind of like Danny Garcia. Like, there's names all over that resume, but you can kind of pick at the names like, oh, this guy's old, this and that. Not saying he's not good. That's why I alluded to earlier. He's fought better boxers. Like, as far as the boxers with a better mind, the veterans, I feel Canelo has fought the smarter fighters. If you even look at, you can add up Lara, Mayweather, Trout, hell, even Khan. Khan, for as much as he get knocked out, he's still a good fighter. But were they physically stronger than him or bigger? Or like, no, they're not. But Triple G, he may not have fought elite level fighters, but the fighters he fought were killers at their time. I mean, you know, even Daniel Gill, you can say whatever you want about him. He still has a great job. The first 2 rounds, they gave him hell. So I think Triple G's fought the physically stronger and faster fighters. They may not have the accolades like the fighters Canelo has fought. So that's why I feel like Canelo really has to rely on skill to win this fight. He can't try to outmuscle this guy. He has put on a lot of size, but I don't think he can try to, you know, duke it out with this guy. He has to fight smart. And one thing I noticed in the training thing, I wonder. This is me, and I don't even know if this could be possible, but I wonder if Canelo is going to try to fight small. Because I'm thinking Triple G is a big guy. Not much bigger, but how is he? Like 5'9", maybe 5'10"?
He's 5'10". He's 5'10".
And then Canelo, I don't think they put him on paper as 5'9". Dude, he's probably 7.
5'8".
If that, like, he's probably like 5'7", 5'8". I wonder if he's going to try to be smaller. Try to use, because I'm seeing a lot of training, he's always like squatted down. Not squat all the way down, but he's very low, his positioning. I wonder if he's trying to get low to see how Triple G handles fighting a fighter who's just, you know, difference in size, see if the punches have same effect, because, you know, that's just a thought I'm throwing out there.
So if we go, let's say, because we just brought up the resumes, if we go by resume, the biggest name on Canelo is Floyd Mayweather, and Canelo lost to Floyd Mayweather. And I mean, I don't really give the Conor McGregor fight any, but Conor McGregor is better than Canelo. No, I'm not gonna go there, guys. I'm not gonna go there. I know better than that.
Like, look, that's Canelo's resume. So obviously,
but this is the thing. Willie Monroe, will you think he will beat Lara? Will he beat Trout? Will Willie Monroe beat, to the best of your knowledge?
I mean, Lara, Willie Monroe versus Lara in his prime. No. The way Lara's looking now, possibly. But Lara in his prime, the way Canelo fought him, then
you'll pick Lara that night.
Lara, like when he fought Canelo, hell no, I don't think anybody could have beat him that night. You know, obviously he beat him, but it was still close.
But that's the thing. Why didn't Lara engage? And my fear is that Lara
was hitting him to the body. Yeah, every time he would come in range.
Lara wasn't trying to get a catch with a big punch. He was trying to work on the outside the whole fight. So, for instance, like, and I think Canelo have gotten a little bit better since that fight.
I think he's improved every fight.
But another thing, so I don't know. I mean, let's not do let's move on and not do the triangle effect thing. Let's move on to tactics and things that Triple G does in the ring and Canelo does in the ring. Okay. So, it's funny because I was listening to Paulie Malignaggi and he brought up the way that Cotto fight and Triple G, the guys that are always in your face, making you...
They're pressure fighters.
Yeah, making you think the whole time. Canelo's the kind of guy that he take time off during a round. Like,
yeah,
he doesn't fight for a full round. So I want to see how Canelo looks when Triple G's on his face, because I know that Triple G's going to be the guy coming forward and Canelo's going to be on his back foot counterpunching. So I want to see how Canelo does on a full... Because think about Danny Jacobs, how he looked at when the fight was over. He was exhausted. Why? Because Triple G was on his face the whole entire fight.
I think he mentioned it in the post-fight conference that he was about to, like, he said he wanted to faint, but he just kept going. He mentioned it in the post-fight interview.
Yeah. So I think that's gonna make Canelo stamina drained. He's gonna have Canelo working much more. I think that Triple G showing that he had 4 bigger punches. Jacobs have 85% KO ratio. This guy, he's a puncher. He knocked out Quillen on the first round.
That shit was bad. It was like,
he's known as a puncher. The guy
Quillen will be fighting this weekend. He's not even gonna mention it. But.
And if you look at his record, Daniel Jacobs' KO ratio, he got 14 first round knockouts on his record. Look at it. This guy could punch. He got like 1 punch knockout. So does Canelo have a 1 punch knockout? I don't really think so. I think he breaks you down to your body, and plus the majority of the guys that he had knocked out are small. So I don't see Canelo really hurting like a 1 punch that will hurt Triple G. I think the way
culmination of punches.
Yeah, he's gonna be able to that. But will Triple G allow him to? It's hard to tell at this point. But the way I see it, I think Canelo's gonna get gassed out. He's gonna lean on the ropes. And I think that Triple G is gonna put enough beating to get the decision. I think he's not.
So you think it'll go to the decision?
And this is why.
Wow.
Because he want. This is.
I'm not disagreeing. I've never heard that prediction. This
is something that I have heard and had me confused. Because if I have not heard this, I would have said Triple G would have stopped him late, similar to how you had Canelo stopping Triple G. But this is why they be talking about a trilogy. Since before the fight, you don't build trilogies before. They are waiting. They're gonna.
You gotta see how they play
exactly.
out. So.
They're gonna either make it convenient. There's 2 ways it's gonna look fight. It's gonna look close, controversial to Canelo, or close, controversial to Triple G. This fight is gonna go. That's how it's gonna end.
Conspiracy theory. I'm good with conspiracy theory.
They're talking.
You think Triple G will carry him just to get more money?
and that's the thing I'm afraid of. If he carry him in Vegas, Canelo's gonna get the decision. So
Triple G has to win to get the rematch.
Exactly. So I have Triple G hurting Canelo, but carrying him to an extent where
not to make him look bad.
Exactly.
Put him in a rematch.
And he'll get a close decision or a controversial decision or like a split decision kind of thing where Triple G will get the benefit of the doubt. And they'll because dude, so for some reason they keep even Triple G mentioned it. Go back to the interviews. He had mentioned
trilogy,
and how are you building a trilogy when you haven't even seen the outcome of the fight? But mind you, most of these fights when you got 2 of these fighters, they become crap. They're not Hearns versus Hagler. They don't turn this into that. They turn into sleepers. Fights that they get too technical and they become a fight that. It is enjoyable, but it's not. It doesn't give you what we are expecting. So I'm gonna go with Triple G winning a decision.
And obviously to carry into making Canelo look decent, but not decent enough to warrant a rematch.
Exactly. So probably Triple G will go get the 1 more belt, and then they'll fight again.
The reason I'm picking Canelo is because I don't know if you guys remember, and I'm actually looking at the box record now just to get the specific date. But if you guys go back to 2008, there was a fight between Bernard Hopkins versus Kelly Pavlik. Now, most of you guys, I don't know if you remember Kelly Pavlik, but Kelly Pavlik was a killer. This guy had monster power. I mean, Kelly Pavlik his record when he retired, 40 wins, and 34 of those wins by KO. So, I mean, this guy had an 81% knockout ratio, and the only 2 losses he had were to Sergio Martinez and Hopkins. And the main thing to take away from these fighters, well, obviously Bernard Hopkins is more of a technician, but he knew enough that a guy like Pavlik had power, but couldn't react well to speed. If you guys go on YouTube, you look at the Kelly Pavlik versus Bernard Hopkins fight, Bernard Hopkins was fucking throwing, excuse my language, sick combinations really fast. He was like coming real fast, and Pavlik couldn't find an answer to those combinations. Same thing with Sergio Martinez. Sergio Martinez fights the same way most of the time. He gets on his bike, goes on the inside, throws a bunch of combinations, comes out. Circles the ring, comes out, comes in, throws a bunch of combinations really fast and comes out. I'm not, I don't want to compare Kelly Pavlik to Triple G by no means. I mean, different styles, but I could see that happening because a guy like Triple G, for as strong as he is and as powerful as he is, I think the reason he stalks you is because he needs time to find the opening. He needs, you also have to read like that. He stalks you for a reason. He stalks you because he needs to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? If Triple G was sure of his power in round 1, he'd be knocking people out. And I feel he has the power to knock people out in a round, but he stalks you on purpose to see if there's an opening, to see how he can get it, and see how you react to his feints and his jabs. And Triple G's one thing about him, he's got a sick jab. Like, I became a believer when he fought David Lemieux. David Lemieux is a very strong guy. He fought Lemieux, and he kept Lemieux behind that jab the whole night. So, I mean, it could go either way. I never thought of that version here as far as going to decision to be a trilogy. I mean, that would be a bunch of money for everyone involved. I see it going as far as Canelo winning by a KO mid-round, but then again, if he wins that way, then what is the reason for a rematch,
Yeah, plus the thing is, you're talking about Pavlik being a guy who, and I can see the resemblance, but the thing about timing kills speed, and I think that if you compare Triple G snapping jab, pop, 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 that's gonna erupt Canelo rhythm and timing, because he's a counter puncher. He got to time.
Wait for that.
Yo, so that pump, 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 and then catching him with a hook or whatever. It's gonna be an exciting fight. It's gonna be really interesting to see how this fight develops. But overall, I think we will have to see how it's gonna unfold. So.
All right. So that's our take on it. I have it by middle 6 to 8 rounds stoppage by Canelo. You have a decision. Triple G, which will make a trilogy. Either way, that's our prediction. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any comments, let us know. Please subscribe to the channel. If you like it, show us love on the Instagram. And that's pretty much it. Anything else?
Thank you guys.
All right, Boxing Rampage out.